So we're going to start today in a child's pose, please. Coming onto hands and knees and slide them out a bit wider, big toes together, hips ease a long way back, arms outstretched. Spread your fingers and just drop on in, let your elbows come all the way down to the ground and the forehead rests down. So it doesn't matter how high your hips feel up here, back here. We'll let gravity start to take over, letting your body feel heavier as we start to sink into the ground, grounding our pose, feeling every point of connection with the earth beneath you. Get a sense of drawing energy from the ground up into your body. So through every fingertip, through the arms, into your head, from the knees to the feet. Get a sense of energy traveling through your body. So instead of feeling so relaxed that we're collapsing into the ground, we're actually getting a sense of drawing energy up from the ground. As you become more relaxed, your breath might naturally slow. Maybe you can feel it moving into different parts of your body, inviting a more spacious breath. Now let's slide one arm further forward, let the other elbow tuck in a little bit closer. So we're stretching up through one side of the body. Might even feel good to kind of grip your fingertips, create a bit of resistance here. Breathing into the long side of your body. And then switching over, so slide that elbow in and the other arm goes long. Maybe a bit of grip here. Let the breath flow with ease. Okay, and then reset. Come onto your hands, lifting up, and we'll draw the belly down and the chest forward, eye gaze just ahead of you. Maybe you want to create a bit of movement in the hips. And then scoop the belly in, rounding out. Lengthen forward. And round out. So a bit of side to side movement as well if you like, have a play. Lengthen. And round. Okay, and then send one leg out to the side. So the leg is straight and the foot is on the ground, and then slide your hips back towards your heel. It doesn't matter how far down you come. So you might still be a little higher here, or you might start to ease even further back, just as far as your body will allow. And then coming up leg comes in and the other leg goes out to the side. Press down into the foot, keep the legs straight and ease your hips back. Doesn't matter how far it is. Coming up and to the first side again. Let's just hold for a couple more breaths. And then coming up, leg in, other leg out wide. And sit back. Leg comes in. Bring your knees directly under your hips. Send one leg back with your toes tucked under. And let's shift back and then shift forward, shift back, and forward. A couple more times. And then switch legs over. Tuck toes, pushing back towards the heel. And forward, back, and forward. A couple more times here. Okay, and bring the leg in. This time, step your right foot just in front of you. So both knees are bent at 90 degrees. So knee is straight under the hip and here the ankle is straight under the knee. Bring your hands to your hips and just with the thumbs get a sense of tipping the hips down at the back and that sense of lifting up through the front of the body, so lifting the belly. So here we need to squeeze the glutes really tightly and even just being in this position might give you a good stretch up the front of the hip. If not, you might just need to slightly shift forward a bit more without dropping downwards and collapsing into the pose. So keeping the pose really strong, so you may not need to come very far. All right, and then sit your hips back. And you could flex your foot here if you like, or keep it flat to the floor, that's fine. If it's super tight up through the back of the leg, you can have a softer knee. So we don't want to lock the knee joint too tightly anyway, but you can choose sort of how far back you shift. Lengthening your chest forward. Make sure we're not dropping the head, so we're mindful of every part of the body. Alright, and then flatten the foot and bring both knees back. This time we'll step the left foot in front. Doesn't have to be too far forward, so we just want to get that 90-degree angle happening. Hands to hips and tip the tailbone down. So think about lengthening down through the back body, lifting up through the front body. So if you picture the position of the pelvis, if it's naturally kind of tipping forward, we want to be tipping it so that it feels more level, as though it was a big bowl of water and we're not letting it spill. So squeezing the glute really tightly and gently pressing the hips forward enough to feel the stretch at the front of the hip there. Might be traveling into your quad muscle too. Just hold and breathe. So even though we're tensing and holding tightly, we can still make space to breathe without restricting the breath in any way. All right, now shifting your hips back, Lengthening your chest forward. Think about how much of a knee bend you're going to need here. So a slight softening at the back of the knee, meaning that it's not locked on tight. Just leaning towards the leg to deepen the stretch. We focus on having the chest lengthening forward so that we're not collapsing into the pose. Okay, and then flatten the front foot again and come onto your knees. Step the right foot forward again, and this time we're going to spin that left foot about 90 degrees so that we're opening out to the side, so the knee is now to the side of us. Again, try to find that pelvic tilt, so we're activating the glutes, pressing the knee open, and we're allowing the rest of the body to be nice and upright. Hand to thigh, lengthen the other arm up so there's a lovely long line all the way up through the body. Stretching up to fingers. And if it feels good, let's bend over towards the bent knee. So we do want to keep some tone and strength in the glutes so that we're not letting the hips collapse and sink back. Okay, now bring the top hand to the inside of the foot, spin that back leg around again. So this time we're coming into a lower lunge than before, supported by the bottom hand as well. And then turn to open into a twist. Coming onto hands and knees again, and this time it's the left leg. Bring it through, then spin the back foot around. So I'm going to be facing away from you this time. Hands to hips, just to kind of feel the position of the hips. So have a wee wriggle until you find the most supportive place for you. So making sure that the hips aren't collapsing and dropping back, we're not dropping the belly. You want to be just gently tipping down through the back body, lifting up through the front body, knee pressing open. And then the other arm comes high, so it's going to be the right arm high. Stretching up, create length up through the body, and then soften into a side bend. Noticing where you need to hold a bit of tension and where you could create softness. Float this top hand to the floor, spin the back leg around again, and then turning open into your twist. This time we're coming into a forward fold. So tuck the back toes under and walk that foot up to meet the other foot. Coming into your forward fold. As much of a knee bend as you need so that again we're not locking the joints. Think about tipping your tailbone up and relax the upper body down, drop the head. Maybe loosen up through your arms or hold on to your elbows to create a bit more traction. Alright, now step the right foot back. Climb on up to your thigh. So we're in quite a lifted position here because I've still got the back leg quite straight. So it might be a more intense stretch up through the front of the hip. We're just taking our time because I want you to really feel into the pose. Notice how it feels for you today. What do you feel here? And what do you need to adjust to make the pose more supportive for you? Do you need to be higher? Do you need to be thinking about that tip in the pelvis? Do you need to be supporting yourself with your hands? All right, now slide your hips back And bring your hands to your shin, or if you can reach, you could bring your fingertips to the floor. You might even need to reposition that back foot if you need a bit of grounding there for balance. So position this pose in a way that supports you. Make sure that we're not dropping the head, so gently lift the back of the head, creating length. Hold and breathe. Okay, stepping into your forward fold. Hang out for a moment here. Maybe hold the arms, maybe move. And this time we'll step the left foot back, same thing. So take your time coming up to your lunge. So feel where you need to be here, how much of a knee bend you need, or how lifted you want to be. Check in with the lower back and make sure that we're not collapsing out the front of the body. Okay, now tipping the hips back and your chest forward. Let's make our way down, hands to the shin or fingertips to the floor. Reposition the foot if it needs it. And let's see if we can create some more length through the spine. So without kind of hunching into it, we want to stay nice and broad around the chest. And the breath comes easily. Okay, and then stepping into your forward fold, let's hang out. Maybe shift the weight into one leg and the other. Spread your toes on the floor and press into every one of them. I'm just going to turn around here, just so that I stay facing you. Right leg back again. Coming up, but this time we're going to spin the back heel to the ground, stretch up through both legs. So that means that we're drawing a lot of energy upwards from the ground, pulling up through the quads, pulling up through the kneecaps, so that we're not just kind of collapsing into the legs and potentially overextending the knees. We want to be activating the muscles and drawing an upward flow of energy from the earth. Then float your arms out wide and just let your shoulders soften a little so that we're not all hunched up around the ears. Arms are floating in space. Legs are super strong. Then we'll extend towards the left leg and float the hand down to wherever it lands. So if you need to be high, you can have your hand on your thigh. If you're coming lower, you've got a hand on the shin. Make sure that we're not dropping into the back of the knee. Eye gaze wherever your neck feels best, wherever you can maintain your balance. Now keeping your legs strong, float the bottom hand off and let's rise on up. So this top hand now pulls back, pulls across. Stay for one more breath here. Then coming over again, legs strong. You choose how far down you reach. This top hand comes down to the ground and the left knee bends. The right heel comes up off the ground. We've ended up in a lunge and let's take a twist. Left arm lifts. And step into your forward fold. This time it's the left leg that goes back. Take a long step. And your eyes on up. Then spin the back heel to the ground. Float your arms open. So there's no hurry. Feel into the pose. Bring a little softness and ease into each pose. At the same time, feel that energy, that power drawing upwards from the ground, up through the legs. Let's reach across and come over. Hand to wherever it gets to. Maybe you're high today, maybe you're coming lower. Helps to not be directly on the joint, so above or below. Think about where your neck, your head needs to be in space. Just a couple more breaths. All right, now this bottom hand floats up, still strong through both legs. Reaching up nice and high, then come further across. Each out breath evolves the pose a little further. Pulling back down again. You might find it's easier to find more depth in this pose a second time. That's your experience. And this top hand finds the ground. The back heel comes up so we can turn the hips over. Then add the twist. And comes down, step into your forward fold. Spread your toes, hold on to elbows, hanging out. Rolling up to standing. Curling the way up. Both arms high, gather in at the top and down to your heart center. Just pause here for a moment. Bring your hands to your hips. And with the right hand, pick up the right foot behind you. Come side on again. See if you can bring your knees closer together. So again, we want that same little pelvic tilt where we're creating space through the lower back. And we've got a bit of a lift in the belly so that we're not just letting our bowl spill. Maybe you can grab the foot with both hands. If that's not accessible for you today, just stay with one. So you might be getting a really intense stretch into the quad muscle. Just hold for another breath. And let's come out nice and slow. Release the foot. Plant both feet and feel the weight shift into the right leg as we now pick up the left foot. Get into position, trying to squeeze inner thighs towards each other. A bit of power in the glutes to keep a nice stable pelvis without it swinging back. A little bit of tension in the abs to hold in place. Maybe you can take both hands to the foot. Don't worry if you can't. Stay and breathe. And slowly release out. Float your arms up and release down into a fold. Let's just hang out here, holding your elbows. Maybe you want to pedal the legs gently. Think about sending your tailbone up and relax the upper body down. So creating a bit more length through the hamstrings. All right, release arms and curl your way up to standing. Come to center. Pick up the right foot with either your right hand or with both hands. Try to square off. When I say square off, it means that we're not twisting or shifting. We want the pelvis to remain nice and level as much as we can get it. Now, tipping forward as far as you dare. You might even press your foot back against your hands. Could be one or two. So opening space between your butt and your foot. Now, very gently release the back foot and extend both arms behind you. So the back leg is out long. And then step the foot down. Bring arms up, or you can hold your thigh if you feel a bit wobbly. And then spin the back heel to the ground and open arms wide. Take a breath and tip over. Keep your legs strong. The bottom hand floats up and back. Coming over. Top hand finds the floor. Bend your knee, lift the back heel, take your twist. Push off to your forward fold. Roll your way up. Arms high and come to center. Taking the left foot this time, one hand or two. When you're feeling steady, tipping forward. Maybe you can push the foot further away from you. Hold for another breath. And gradually release the back leg. Both arms are behind you. And step down. So foot to the floor, arms come high. And spin the back heel down, open wide. Coming over. Tip. So make sure that we're not feeling that collapsing feeling into the ground. We're feeling more uplifted here. Does that make a difference? And the bottom hand floats up. Lengthening over. And the top hand comes down again. Top hand finds the floor. Maneuver yourself into a lunge and take your twist. Stepping into your forward fold. And just hanging out here. Slowly rise on up. Arms come high, collect at the top and down center. Now both arms up. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot and bring your knees together. So try to square your hips and shoulders. I'm just trying to turn to the diagonal. All right, so let's square off. We've got the left arm high. Kick back firmly into your hand and reach the other arm ahead of you. Now keep pushing your foot against your hand to drive the back knee even further away. Can you bring your eye gaze straight ahead of you so you're just looking past your fingertips? One more breath. It will slowly ease out of it. The arm comes high, the foot lands. Windmill the arms. So the right arm is up, left hand finds the foot. Kick back and reach. If you're looking at the floor, can you challenge yourself to look a little higher? We're doing one more time on each side. So windmill the arms. Grab hold. Find what is center for you. So trying to square the body off as much as we can. Kick back and reach. Can you challenge yourself to raise the front hand a little bit higher? One more breath. And switch over. Try to move with your breath. See if that helps you. See if that helps you to focus. Push back firmly into the hand, create some resistance. Maybe that front hand raises a little. One more breath. And quietly land. Both arms up. And release down into a fold. Hanging out for a few breaths here. Maybe peel the legs. Breathe space into your back body. Lower all the way down to seated. Come into crossed legs. Or you might bring your foot higher up onto your calf or over the thigh. Fingertips just behind you and lift your chest. And tipping forward, hands just in front, and lean in. Doesn't matter how far you come, whatever is right for your body today. Keep your legs as they are. Bring your hand onto the highest knee. The other hand comes behind into each hand. So you might use your arm like a very gentle lever. Turn. Or you might just hold on
for support. Switching legs over. The other foot comes up or it's resting in front. The hips shuffle back into forward. Coming up and gently into your twist, so look at the highest knee, and the hand could cup the knee, or you could bring the back of the hand to the outside of the thigh. And release. Just want to do a couple more stretches before we finish in a seated position for a few minutes of recovery. So just lift that top leg and spin it over so the knee comes down. And yes, we're just turning it down like this. Then walk your hands just in front of you. Doesn't matter if you don't come very far. Maybe you want to challenge yourself and come a bit further, but truly listen to your body. See what feels good. Then facing the leg that's in front of you, turn out to the diagonal and lean in. And then raising up, hand to knee, the other hand comes behind, and think about spiraling upwards. Again, we want to be drawing energy up from the ground and spiraling up. So instead of collapsing here and being completely at rest, we've got a more energetic pose. And just being very mindful of that back leg, so we're feeling a bit of work maybe around the hip if it's tight for you, and gently pressing your knee towards the ground. Let's switch it all over. So sweep this leg around gently, no need for sudden movements. And then the other foot comes to the side and just turn the knee down. Then come forward. As far as it feels good. Now to the diagonal, leaning over the front knee. And then up for your twist. Hand to knee, other hand just behind. And turn as far as it feels good. Another breath here. And make your way into crossed legs just for a few minutes. Just a couple of minutes here, a chance to reset, recover. Hands to knees. Connect with your breath. And softening of the face muscles. So your breath be full as it moves into your body. The sense of grounding through the lower body, around your hips. Can you feel the energy drawing up from the earth, from every point of contact with the feet, backs of your thighs, your sitting bones, coming upwards through your body. And with your next breath, sweep arms wide and climb. Gather at the top. Come down the center to your heart space. Namaste. Nami Bhumi. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.